For all you freedom lovers out there, you have one person who has shown herself to be an archenemy of freedom, of liberty, of self-sufficiency, because she knows what's best for you as she sends out smoke signals to her Native American Indian tribe as to what they must do, because obviously Miss Elizabeth Warren is the greatest Native American who's ever lived. And here she's trying to denigrate Bitcoin and make people afraid of it with stooge Chuck Todd on Meet the Press. And here we go.
With Bitcoin, there's no thing that backs it up. And that's what makes it different. It's just belief. You and I assess. You assess the value is going to go down. I assess it's going to go up, and therefore I buy.
So it's more like this artwork.
No, because at the end of the day, I can hang that thing on my wall.
Right.
And I can enjoy it, or I can throw darts at it.
Let me throw some darts at your argument here, Warren. Bitcoin actually is art in its construction. Let's continue. I'll have more to say.
You could sell it for money.
Sure you can. I mean, there are features about it that are the same, but it's not the same. And look, one of the things we have to remember about, there are a lot of things that come within this crypto world. So for example, we could be talking about, instead of Bitcoin, we could be talking about digital currency. Now that's something very different.
I think that's different too. I buy that. I accept that.
That's right, because that's a government-backed electronic transfer.
Oh boy, now I'm a little bit angry, because digital currency run by the United States is a CBDC that they're able to control. You're taking the bearer asset, which is cash, which is Bitcoin in digital form, and you're giving total control to the government to run your operation and what you can do. And the moment that you step out of line, that programmable money will be used by the central powers that control it in order to control your behavior. The same way that Canadians in the truckers movement found themselves on the wrong end of Justin Trudeau's wrath, and when he froze their bank accounts so that they could not interact with the world. Obviously, this did tremendous damage to Canada's international reputation, and people like me took all of our money out of Canadian banks. I did. I encourage everybody to do the same, because this is what they want. They want to be able to control you. As to what backs the US dollar, for example, you have the US military, which can suppress any competitor. If you just take a look at what happened to Saddam Hussein and to Muammar Gaddafi, the moment that they entertained the possibility of using a different currency other than the US dollar, kaboom, they were gone. That is what happened to them. You do not mess around with the US military. And that is essentially what is backing the US dollar, in addition to the fact that it is the faith that people have in the United States as being the land of freedom and opportunity that everybody wants to move to, which unfortunately today is being undermined by the Democrats and people like Elizabeth Warren and the Biden administration by taking on massive unrepayable debt, which, unless we have a miracle increase in productivity or in cold fusion, if that develops, then maybe we'll have so much productivity that we'll be able to pay it back. Otherwise, there's no chance in hell. And it's like a credit card balance that continues to evolve and grow larger like a cancer until it comprises, just paying off the interest comprises more than you're taking in. And the US is, getting closer and closer to that mark. Also, America is not as competitive today as it used to be, because there are Americans like me that desire and are living abroad because we're hedging our bets, because the US seems to be going downhill. So you want to tell me that you have the full faith of the US government backing it when they elect people like you that entertain a wealth tax, Ms. Warren, that would completely destroy the United States and everything that we stand for? No, thank you.
And it can be denominated in dollars, it could be denominated in euros, it could be denominated in some new language that's made up.
So long as it's
but that has something that backs government it up. It has a government that says, if at the end of the day there's a run on this stuff, everybody wants theirs out, the United States government promises there will be something to back it up.
Yeah, something to back it up. I mean, what are you talking about, Warren? Are you talking about the printed money that the US government is going to distribute that is not the real thing, as opposed to Bitcoin, which has a fixed and limited supply? I don't understand why anybody would fall for this. Oh, yay, we get to print up monopoly money, throw it into the air, and this is our way of distributing it after we debase the US currency, which is the only option that they have. They have to be able to monetize the debt in order to pay it off. Yes, you will be paid back your nominal value unless you're Russia, in which case, if you behave badly, and Russia definitely has, then they just take all of their treasury bonds, then they shut them out of the SWIFT system, and Russia cannot spend its US dollars. You can argue from a geopolitical standpoint that this is a fine move, but you can't argue in terms of the fact that people should have faith renewed in the US dollar when people have incentive to move away from it.
And that's what banks are about. There'll be somebody there to back it up. But with Bitcoin, that's not the case.
Look, everything that she says, it just isn't true. It's no different than having an audible vault filled with gold coins, except you can move them at lightning speeds over a decentralized network. And if you say that you have Bitcoin, it's very easy to prove. You can transmit it, and it is protected by a wall of electricity and cryptography. That is what is backing it. The mathematics of it that cannot be assailed by leftists that want to spend more than they have. There is a known figure that allows us to plan for the future, because if you take a look at planning for the future with the inflation that's being created by the United States, you simply can't. It's like Weimar Germany. It used to be that 100 Deutschmarks would buy you a loaf of bread or whatever, and then it became 1 billion Deutschmarks. How can you plan for the future? The only people that benefit are the debtors, and the only way out, other than massive productivity gains, is to print up the money. I don't think that she's dumb. I just think that she's completely disingenuous and wanting to scare people away from what she cannot control. They want control over you, over your finances, and what you're able to do. Please leave your comments below and let me know what you guys think.